the data infrastructure they needed to actually make the decisions. Because like you said, Jenna, it's all interconnected. And like, yeah, maybe the growth marketers are looking at the data more closely because their job relies on it. But once you have all the data coming into your database and you're able to create dashboards and see how interconnected it all is, that's when you're really able to unlock um, real insights and drive the future. Because what data gives you is access to the past and access to what's currently happening. And if you can become really good at harnessing that data, you can actually not only predict the future, but create the future, which is like insane. And so Posh Peanut works with Saras Analytics. They're the ones that implemented the data infrastructure for the business. And that, like, I almost want to explain it like everyone's five, because I truly think so many businesses are behind on like setting up their data infrastructure. But essentially what a good data infrastructure is you bring all of your data sources through a process called ETL into a data warehouse, and then you can model that data and surface it in dashboards. And that's what Posh has. And I mean, we were in a meeting the other day together, and there's a new dashboard that was built that basically, like, we were it's like we're all kind of explorers digging around in a cave with a flashlight. And and then we build this new dashboard and we're like, oh my gosh, like this is like what we've been searching for. Like, this is the answer. We all kind of knew what it was, but to see it here validated is like insane. And now we can make like real decisions, business decisions to answer that question. And that's through the work that the team has been doing with Saras.
Yeah, I think when I first came on, Posh had brought on Saras Analytics, and we had worked really closely with them on like what were the priorities, how do we need to clean everything up, how do we also make sure that we could really validate all the data because we had a big mess happening behind the scenes. And they've done some incredible work to now get all the piping set up. And then I think that next step was really about how are we shaping it into either dashboards or specific models and projects that helped us make big business decisions. One of the first ones when I first came in that I think was at least groundbreaking for us to actually make very quick actions was we did not have a good handle on our inventory. And when I mean not a good handle, I mean what channels had what was old versus new. And we were sitting on a pretty big inventory problem. And it was the first thing that we worked with Saras on. And they were able to help us bucket and cut all of our data so that every week, and poor Cherene had to sit through this, but the first 3 months, I was like, we're pulling up the dashboard. We're looking at every single cut. We are reading and reacting the business. Why is this piece not moving? Why is this not moving? What do we need to do? Do we need to pull things from Amazon? Do we need to put it back in? And it helped us in 3 months get into a phenomenal place with our inventory position because I think of inventory as capital, right? That is dollars sitting there that can be driving my business. How can I best use it to move the business forward?
And you have so much control over that. Like you can't I mean, just knowing what it is and where it is, and like there's controlling the buyer's purchasing decision is what marketers are trying to do. In my opinion, it's just like it's much more difficult work than understanding and controlling your inventory. But there's a lot of dirty work behind the scenes that has to happen to get it right. But it's just very doable with the right solutions and the right effort. And I think that's really one of the keys here. It's like it should be table stakes for everyone to get this right. And it's amazing how often you hear about people having inventory problems. Your only inventory problem should be that for some reason customers don't want to buy it, right? And then you figure that out. But everything else, like you should have complete control over. And that's essentially what happened for you guys, right?
Yeah, and I think I echo what Shireen says is I've been in so many organizations. Let's be honest, like nobody really I mean, maybe if you're a giant organization, but nobody really has it right. Like I'm surprised to be like, you're an organization this big and like you still don't have your data shaped in a way that's usable. And so I think it's really about like chipping away at it and not, getting so nervous about the task ahead. And that's what we did. We were like, I came in and I was like, inventory, number one. Like, we got to get a handle on this. We need to leverage this. We need to get ourselves in a good position. I said, number two, was working with Cherene, getting all the data we needed piped through all of her dashboards so that we could make real-time decisions on everything we're doing on the growth side. The third one that we tackled, and this is the one that she's saying we explored around in the cave, I love that analogy, was really getting much deeper cuts on our assortment. We have a wildly complex assortment, right? We have collaborations, we have internal prints, we have all different size ranges, we have genders, we drop every single week. And so, really understanding our assortment has been critical so that we don't get into inventory problems, right? Now we can be buying more sophisticated. We can understand how we want to design in the future. We know what drove the business. And so that's probably the third big leg that we've been working with Saras on. And yeah, we now have some really fun dashboards I've been tinkering around into. I'm like, oh, what happened here?